everyone, Namaste and welcome to FutureReady Nepal. आजको भिडियो चाहिँ एकदमै इन्ट्रेस्टिङ छ. That's what I say in all of the videos. But आज चाहिँ actually interesting छ because we are talking with the representatives of University of Lynchburg. So हामीले केही दिन अगाडि सोधेको थियौँ, if you have any questions for representatives from University of Lynchburg, then please let us know. हामी चाहिँ त्यो क्वेसनहरु सोध्छौँ भनेर. But this conversation has been really wholesome, हैन. University of Lynchburg को के कल्चर छ, के पढाइ हुन्छ, कस्तो त्यहाँको माहौल कस्तो छ, हैन. If you should consider going to Lynchburg or not, all of that, हैन. त्यो सबै हामीले यो भिडियोमा कभर गरेको छौं, हैन. So I hope you enjoy today's conversation. If you have any doubts about this university or any other university, you can leave it in the comment section. Please also join us on all other social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, because we would love to help you out in your journey to studying in USA. With all of that said and done, let's get started with the video. Hello to both of you, and thank you so much for hopping onto this call and helping us with some doubts that students have about University of Lynchburg. So firstly, let's maybe start with both of your introductions.
Absolutely. I can start first. I'm Aaron Basco. I'm the Vice President of Enrollment, Marketing and Communications here at the University of Lynchburg, and work with a lot of international students as well. And then happy to introduce my colleague, Dr. Thapa, who is our Director of Asian Recruitment. So,
yeah, Dr. Thapa, you can introduce yourself too.
Like Aaron was saying, I'm a faculty at the chemistry department, so I'm an associate professor. I'm also the chair-elect of the chemistry department. I've been here for over 8 years now. Okay, and so part of me, I teach. I teach in the chemistry department. I also help out with Nepali students and Southeast Asia region as well with the university. So that's one of the new roles that I have.
Okay, so in the line of questions that I have, we are basically supposed to be talking about the university, the introduction, and where it is situated. Let's maybe talk about the weather a little bit, because people coming from Nepal, they are not really used to this weather and all of that. So what would you say about that?
Dr. Thap, I'll let you do that one since you have a good comparison base. So I don't. So.
Well, okay, so the weather today, this morning outside, it's cold. So it is probably so in America, we measure temperature in Fahrenheit, not in Celsius, like we do in Nepal, right? So right now it's probably 4 degrees outside. So it is cold. And it wasn't like this until even yesterday or before, the day before. So it was very nice. So I would say weather-wise, it's not very different from Kathmandu. Okay, so I'm saying Kathmandu, not Nepal, because depending on where you're in Nepal, the weather is obviously going to be different, right? So it's very similar to Kathmandu, slightly colder, but not by too much. And also maybe just slightly warmer in the summer. But the difference is there is central heating in the United States, right? So there's a heater or a AC wherever you go, so that's the big difference. So in Nepal, it could be over here, if it's 0 degrees Celsius, not a big deal. But if it's 0 in Nepal, it's a big deal because it's really cold, because there's no heat.
True. And what would you say about the university? Where is it situated? And maybe let's talk about the diversity at the university and stuff like that.
Sure. Aaron, you want to take that or?
Sure, that sounds fine. So the university is located in the state of Virginia. So if you see Washington, D.C. on the map and you go straight south about 3 hours, that's where we're located. It's a really beautiful area. We are at the foot of some low mountains kind of here, that it's a very beautiful outdoor area that people come to hike and get outdoors and that kind of thing. But I think the other nice thing is that it's got great access to different places. So it is, you can get on the train right here in town. There's a station that goes right through Lynchburg, and you can, take it directly to DC in just a couple of hours. So, and then go on from there if you want to New York or Boston or whatever. So it really has nice access to things. And it's a great little city because it has, we actually have 6 colleges and universities that are located here. So it means that there are lots of students in the local area, which means there's shopping and restaurants and interesting things to do. And so this area has actually been ranked by Travel and Leisure as the second best kind of university town in the United States. So
That's really nice. It's good to have students around you all the time. And maybe can we talk about the university rankings and maybe what are the most popular courses maybe there, and what should students expect in terms of academics?
sure. I can start with the rankings part. The university has been recognized, in a number of different ways through like U.S. News and those kinds of things for several years. We were when they did it in the South region universities, we were like in the top 20 of those institutions. One year, I think we were best value also rankings for U.S. News for several years, including one year. I think our highest was maybe 9th in the country for that. We've also had several individual rankings for certain of our programs. So, for example, our criminology program is considered to be, one of the best, and it's number 2 in the state for that. We've had very good rankings for our nursing program as well. We were 40th in the nation for our PA medicine program. We've got some nice rankings for our MBA program. And then I think we also have we've also hit this nice ranking a couple of times where we are considered a social mobility institution, where it's great for students who really want to move forward, right? They want to progress from their own level, maybe socially, economically, but they want to kind of move to a higher level socially, economically. We've done very well with, I think, students doing that. So we're seen as an institution that kind of opens doors of opportunities economically for students moving forward. So those kind of combined with the location ranking, which is also pretty good, I think, certainly makes it a strong place to be. I think generally, we have many programs. We have 53 majors in pretty much anything that students are looking for. Very strong programs in hard sciences, health sciences, social sciences, education, the arts, the humanities, a little bit of everything in those areas. We have some really large programs. Nursing is very large for us. Business is quite large for us. Also programs like our exercise physiology, which is like kinesiology, communications, biology, those kinds of areas are probably our largest majors. Maybe Dr. Thappo could speak better to like what the environment is like academically, or what students should expect in that way, since he's in the classroom. So,
yeah, well, I guess so just to give you guys a perspective. So Aaron has a much broader view of the institution and the academic program, and in some regards I do, but he's obviously out there. So I can speak for School of Sciences more so because I'm in the sciences. I think we have fantastic program. I would say it's a very rigorous program. So students. There's a great emphasis on research and internships. That's like part of a curriculum. And I think it's very important for any student pursuing bachelor's degree, to have to pursue internship or research. That's extremely important. I think so definitely there's a rigor in the curriculum. One of the things I'll tell is for students, especially students coming from Southeast Asia, and compared to American curriculum, is there's always assignments on a weekly basis or every other 2 days or so. So that's a big change. And yeah, so we're constantly working. They're learning every day. So our students, we train them well. They end up doing amazing things. Our science students, they end up joining PhD program, medical schools. Like Aaron was saying, our nursing program is amazing. We have, just in context of Nepali students, so we have a lot of students. They are nursing majors. In fact, I probably have about 10 students in my class right now who are nursing majors from Nepal. Computer science is a very good program, and we have a lot of Nepali students in the computer sciences. and we have amazing program with the computer sciences as well. Yeah, and we have students pursuing major in biology, biomedical sciences, students from Nepal. So yeah, I would say we have a very we have amazing faculty. We're doing amazing research, and again, I think one thing that really sets us apart is so we're like we have like really small classroom size, so on average we expect like 13 to 1 student to faculty ratio, or 11 to 1. That's the average, so you get one-on-one time with a professor. You really get to know them like personally. You have this and you build this relationship, and it's like not just like for the time you're in the classroom, it extends beyond that, after you're done with the class, after you graduate. So yeah, I still have students, who took my class like 4 years, 5 years ago, graduated, and we still have the relationship. So yeah, you get like that very personalized and like very personal relationship with the faculty staff, and we have like open door policy. So as a faculty, I welcome students. If my door is open, they can come in and they can ask me questions or any concerns that they have. I could go on, but I know I'll just stop there. Yeah.
Can I add one thing too that I think is definitely like a real strong value of the university, and that's in all of those areas that Dr. Thapa mentioned, we have this focus on teaching students to learn practically by doing, right? So we talk about experiential learning for students, and pretty much any area you go into, you're going to find this, right? So you can be a business student, and we have a student managed investment portfolio of about $200,000 that our students manage, buy and sell stocks and bonds with, right? And we have a marketing lab where people test out products, and students can be involved in that. If you're a biology student, we actually have a cadaver lab that students use at the undergraduate level, and we have an electronic cadaver lab that's digital that students can interact with. So these kinds of things are happening in every major that you choose, right? Not only are you getting the classroom learning and the book learning, but you're also getting opportunities to practice it at an undergraduate level, which I think really puts our students way ahead when they go on to then go into a graduate level or into an employment opportunity, because they're able to say, I've had experience doing that already. So that's something that's very much a value of the institution.
Right. I also feel combining these things that you guys just mentioned, along with the location of this university, like looking out for job opportunities or internship opportunities outside of the university might be a little bit easier because of the location, as it's near Washington and New York and all of that. So I think that's a very good opportunity for students to be in a place like this. Also, because this university is surrounded with other universities and colleges, you have peers to talk to and maybe discuss about your learnings and stuff like that. So that's a really good advantage for students coming here, I feel.
I think too, we can kind of there are some great examples of this, but I think students have been really surprised too by our location when we have students that come internationally by how friendly everyone is. That people really seem to they care and they notice and they ask students questions about how they're doing or what they like or what they don't like, and our students have remarked to me on a number of occasions, right? I can't believe how friendly everybody is. Everybody wants us to be happy and wants us to be successful. And so I think part of that is the community of the university, and part of it also is the location and the area that we're in, which is just one that's, I think, very open and sort of encouraging for young people. So.
Right.
And let me just add on to that. So I meet with Nepalese students as a group on a weekly basis, just to see, we just meet informally and talk about how the classes are going, the college experience, and anything, everything, pretty much. It's an open forum, so students can help each other out, and I can advise them as well, right? And one of the things that keeps coming up is, like Aaron said, how friendly everybody is here, and just the level of support they're getting within the university, and also people outside the university. They're very much interested in helping out international students also, so yeah, it's that support system that's there. They find it surprising. Everybody just wants to help, and everybody's eager to help, which I think is just wonderful. And that's been historically, that's how we've been in our university. That's how we were. Yeah.
Right. That's really nice. And students, especially I feel students who are out of their 12th grade into this transition, having people and support of people to just help you move forward is very important. So that's a really good point. After that, I'd like to ask about scholarship opportunities. What kind of, how can people manage their finances in this university? Because that's a huge part of education in USA.
Absolutely. Yeah, we know that that's important to everyone, right?
Mhm.
Because um, uh, an education here in the United States is expensive, whether you're from here or from away. It's a
Right.
big investment. And I think we want to kind of partner with students to make that investment, right? Because we know it's going to be worth it to them. It's going to open incredible doors and give them opportunities to network and that kind of thing. So what we've done, we've really made, an investment in really diversifying our campus internationally. We've grown incredibly in the last couple of years, and so what we've done is offered specific scholarships to international students. We look at each student, individually in terms of their preparation for the university. But if they're admitted, they're probably going to get one of our international scholarships. And the rate from that obviously changes with tuition levels and those kinds of things, but it typically covers about 60% of the total cost of tuition, room, and board. So, so that leaves about 40% of the total cost left for the student and family to take care of. So, that's really been helpful. That brings the overall cost of tuition plus their living expenses and everything down, into the kind of low $20,000 range. Is usually about what people are talking about. And then, of course, obviously they have some expenses they're going to have for travel to get here,
Yeah, right.
and books and, pizza money and, some of those kinds of things that they're going to have. But we feel like that makes it at least doable for students. If they're, ready to make that kind of investment, then we're helping to bring that within reach.
Right. And if students are here, what would you like to say about on-campus job opportunities or like part-time opportunities?
Absolutely. So, with the way the visas work, obviously they can only work on campus.
Right.
But we have lots of job opportunities on campus. I think in particular, it's been exciting to see that I think some of our international students have connected with particular programs and particular departments on campus, like our dining services folks. I've talked to them and they love having our international students. I was at a VIP dinner the other day with some faculty, and 3 out of the 4 people who were helping us, like taking care of all the food stuff and everything, were Nepalese students, all in the nursing program. And they were just wonderful. They were having a great time. They were like great at it. And our dining services folks, I think, really love them. They know that they're very hardworking, that they're very friendly, that they're very creative. And I think they also, it gives insight into what, kind of food works well. The other area that, of course, is of interest is our IT program.
Right.
They've hired a number of our students, international students, and they're just like, we love them. They already come with skills. They already come with strong interest. We just that's been a really good match. So they're in many different places around campus, but I think particular areas have gotten to know the students, and it makes it a very comfortable place for the students to work when they find that. So
that's very helpful to know. If we talk about like if students do want to apply over here, what do you think can make their profile really strong? Maybe like GPA is one thing, what you do in your school, college is one thing, and then your projects and maybe your SAT scores, IELTS scores, those are like things that that these are things that we need to do. But apart from that, like extracurriculars, or is there something that students can do that will help them after they go there, or maybe even for their admission process?
sure. I mean, I think 2 things really kind of stand out to us in some ways, beyond obviously the things that you mentioned, GPA and scores and those kinds of things. But I think 2 things sort of jump to the front. Number one is we love to help kind of figure out what the student's story is, right? Who are
Right.
they? What are they interested in? Why? What do they hope to do while they're here? What do they hope to do when they graduate? I think we're really looking for students who I think it's sometimes students are always checking and they're thinking, oh, maybe there's a better thing out there. Maybe we're really looking to make a long-term commitment to students. So I think we're also looking for students who want to make a long-term commitment to being part of our community, right? Who want to be here for their entire experience. And I think we see that in people's personal statements, in their essays, in things like that we can get to know them. We often, too, sometimes we'll do interviews with students, if they're really interested and they have questions or those kinds of things, we'll do a video interview. And I think that sense that the student has done research on who we are, and this is the kind of environment that they're looking for, right? Not just, hey, I hope to go to the United States somewhere, but like, I really, I've done a little bit of my homework and I know somebody who's there and I feel like this is the right place for me and this is why. I think those pieces really stand out. And I think the other thing that really jumps out at us is this is a university that's very committed to what we would call like paying things forward to other people, right? We feel like as a university, we invest in the student so that the student can invest in other people. So we love to have students who, do things in their community or do things that are service oriented or, give in some way to make the world a more interesting or a better place. And so when we see students who talk about that in their essays or, and telling us what activities they've been involved in, and we can clearly see that they're focused on making their community a better place, we know that they're going to come to our campus community and they're also going to get involved. They're going to, try to make a difference. They're going to give to other people. And so that's something that I think immediately also calls our attention.
Right.
And let me just add to that. And again, like these application questions and the financial question, obviously that's Aaron's department, and I can speak on the academic side of things and student experience. So just kind of tagging along what Aaron was saying, like the part about giving back, right? I mean, I could talk about our domestic American students, but I guess like since we are in a podcast, by FutureReady, I guess. So we'll focus with the Nepali students, right?
Yeah.
So last month we had a fall break. So it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, students were off. And there were these group of like Nepali students who traveled to West Virginia, which is a different state from Virginia. And they were there for 3 days and they basically they volunteered to build houses and do construction, right? So giving back to the community. And we have had many Nepali students like very active with the student life. So we have a student whose his name is Prashant. He's working with the Chronograph, which is the magazine for the university. He's doing a fantastic job, right? And like Nepali students, they're helping out like international office with like a bunch of different activities. So these are just a few examples, and now we have students who are trying to be part of like student governance. So we have like student senate, right? So just different ways they're giving back to the community, and we always want to see that. We want like students like assimilating, and like try really owning up the place, and really giving back. And I think Nepali students, they've done that, which makes me really happy. They have really assimilated in the campus.
Right. A question that just popped in my mind right now. So academically, there are a lot of job opportunities on campus, I get that. But then as a master's student, I don't know if undergrad students are eligible for this or not, but I'm talking about research assistantships or teaching assistantships or graduate assistantships. How many students can get this? Maybe like I think the master's student get it more often than the bachelor's, but then what do you have to say about this?
I guess Aaron could probably speak on this topic as well.
I would say from the outset that our graduate programs are kind of limited, our offerings, because many of our graduate programs are online programs.
Okay.
So we have only, we only have a handful of programs that are on ground at the master's level. Many of them are focused on education programs and, some of those areas where, we've been particularly strong. So there are some graduate assistantships that go along with that help to fund partial opportunities and those kinds of things. Many of those are connected to, a few are connected to areas of research, a few are connected to our like athletic programs and things like that. So there are a few of those available, but it's not a huge number because many of our graduate programs are online only.
Okay. And do undergrad students like get these kind of opportunities like teaching assistantships or something like that?
And we don't have any undergraduates teaching. It's all
Okay.
professional faculty
Uh-huh.
they're doing that, and that's very important to us. So
Mm-hmm.
there are some opportunities for things like we have a Bonners service program, which is a nationally grant funded service leadership program, and students can be part of that, and they sometimes get funding through those kinds of pieces. And then again, there are work opportunities, and there are several kind of, again, grant and
Okay.
leadership oriented opportunities. There's also some of our student leadership positions are also funded as well. So those can be other sources of resources for
Okay.
students, as well as
Got it.
leadership.
Mm-hmm. Right. Got it. So about the living situation, what do you think is this area, or like, is it, how expensive is it? Is it easy for students to like maybe like, what is the cost of living in that area as a student?
Sure. Well, our program is set up because of the type of community that we are. All of our students live with us on campus if they're coming
Okay.
internationally. Most of
Mm-hmm.
our domestic students also live with us unless they're like directly from the local area.
Mm-hmm.
We just think that's incredibly important for students. I think it would be really easy for students to come and become isolated if not,
Uh-huh.
right? If they were in the local community or if they were only staying with other students from the same area, I think they would
Right.
really miss out on the leadership opportunities, the the fun activities and things that we have. And I think that's one of the challenging differences to explain to students coming internationally, because you're
Mm-hmm.
coming from one mindset where the experience of university is often like just in the classroom, and then
Mm-hmm.
you go off and you do everything else, where here it really is a community, right? And everything's available for you here, so you can easily walk to the dining hall
Mm-hmm.
3 times a day, eat anything you want, whatever you want, easily, whatever. You go back to your dorm room where you live, and then there are all kinds of like, we have students who play club soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the time, right? Well, you don't have to drive or use transportation to get there because it's right here on campus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or, we had a student, Dr. Thapa was talking about involvement. We had a student who was involved in the play, right? They did a Shakespearean play and the student was involved in, and, clubs, activities, organizations, all kinds of, you know, just wonderful things that are part of the community, performances and art and those kinds of things, and it's
Right.
all right here for the student, right? And we don't want students to have to come halfway across the world and then
Mm-hmm.
worry about, well, how do I work a lease with a
Mm-hmm.
landlord, right?
True.
How do I make sure that I have enough food during the
Mm-hmm.
week, those kinds of things. So I think, well, I would say that this area of the country is probably, the cost of living is lower here than in a lot of like the big city areas and those kinds of things. um, we're hoping to make it so that students can focus on their studies and focus on being part of the community rather
Mm-hmm.
than having to worry about a lot of those things.
That is actually really nice, because most of the universities I know, or most of the students that I talk to, they are going in a university where they do not want to stay on the dorms and stuff. They'll stay off campus and then figure out everything on their own, which is kind of difficult when you're just landing in a new country. So that is really nice to have a community like that, and you don't have to worry about a lot of things that way. And as you said, figuring out lease and all of that. The first time I came to US, that was a headache for me. So definitely for bachelor's student, it's really helpful.
We want to make sure that students can get the very maximum out of their experience, right? And if
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to worry about those other things, they can spend more time being involved, learning
Right.
as much as possible, networking, opening doors, focusing on their own
Mm-hmm.
development and future career. So.
Right.
Yeah, and just to kind of like add a little bit to that, I mean, yeah, so we are, like Aaron was saying, so, you know, students come here, and I mean, obviously we provide like world-class academics, yes, but in addition to that, like these other things are very important, this
Right.
community, all these activities that's going on in the campus, so we want students to be part of it. And you're talking about soccer. I organize like soccer every Friday, so we meet on Fridays to play soccer, just throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but and the other thing is, like, as international students, regardless where you come from, it is extremely difficult coming to a new country and adjusting. It'll probably take a year or two before you're finally adjusted. Figuring out the academics. Figuring out just the like how to navigate within like American college system, right? So like just how to connect with people. There's like so many layers and so many different areas that's just new and like and stuff you didn't know, and you have to deal with that. So on top of that, if you throw in, you know, having to sign a lease, like paying for your internet, paying for water, paying for electricity, all that, it's a lot more on the plate. So yeah, I think it's we believe this is a much better way of doing things. Yeah.
Right. And since students stay inside the university or on the dorms, I'm guessing it's very safe as well. You don't have to think about the safety things and all. And even it assures the parents as well back at home that my children are at a safe place and in good hands. So that's really...
I think that's one of the key advantages, to our type of institution, and again also to our location and that kind of thing. I think, as a parent, this is an area that not only is your student like part of a community where people are looking out for them all the time and they know where they are and they can go and get help with whatever they need, but this is one of, I think, the safest areas of the US. I mean, you're not in big cities and things like that where you have to worry about that. Again, that sort of friendliness that we talked about before, part of that is people kind of look out for each other, right? And they're not like all worried about stuff. It's amazing. Like just the general feel of safety here is something that I think is some of our students can't believe when they come here. I've talked to students even from other countries and they're like, this is nothing like at home. Like people leave things unlocked here, and I don't know what to do with that, right? They're just like, I would never do that at home. So I think that is something that can be very comforting, to families to know, okay, somebody's looking after my student, and they're going to be in an environment where, people are generally very kind, and that's really helpful.
Right. Coming back to the academic side a little bit. So, are there any kind of job fairs on campus or like where you can go to look out for opportunities outside of campus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to go first? Do you want me to?
Sure. I mean, the career service is just like an amazing job, and like from the get-go, like since you're a freshman, because the career service, like it focuses on like, like, okay, so how you write a resume, CV, and then how do you find internships, how do you find a job, and like, and so that kind of prepares students, as they progress through the 4 years on campus, right? There are various events hosted by the career services, so just like 2 weeks ago, we had Hornet to Hornet, where we had alumni come visit the university. It's a big event for students to network and just see what students who graduated a few years back, what they're doing in the world, so, and they come and share the amazing work. And there are career fairs on campus, and Aaron can probably elaborate more on that. But yeah, Aaron.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that was kind of fun, I actually was talking to our director of career services yesterday, and she said, I love working with the international students. They do everything they're supposed to do, right? They like when you give them advice about how to do this, they follow the advice. And she said they come in and they see us all the time. They're polishing up their resumes. They're trying to do networking. They're thinking about internships. She said they're taking advantage when an employer comes to campus and does interviews. The students go and they do interviews. And so she said, I love this. This is really great. Again, I just think that networking piece is really important. I think we have a lot of alumni who are really committed to the institution and they help our students. And, we've sent alumni on into some really great places. We have tons of alumni in the medical field. We have lots of alumni, especially it seems like in technology and communications. We've had some really high-powered alumni that have gone on well. So, they're able to kind of network and help. And like Samrat was saying, the Hornet to Hornet, I mean, we probably have 100 people who come back and, meet with students in small groups and give them advising on, how to get into the job field and that kind of thing. So I think that's very reassuring to students. They can network that way.
And I think additionally, the career service also has this app called Handshake, which kind of like connects them with our big network of alumni, right? And so that network, so they can connect with them. So yeah, it's like career service does some amazing job getting students ready ready for life after college. Yeah.
Now I want to interrupt over here and let you know अलिकति हाम्रो टेक्निकल इस्युजहरू भयो होइन हाम्रो फर्स्ट यस्तो टाइपको पडकास्ट थियो अनि अलिकति कुराहरू मिलेन होइन हाम्रो लास्ट सेक्सन अफ द भिडियोमा अडियो नै रेकर्ड भएन छ सो आई एम रियली सरी फर द्याट बट म त्यो लास्टको कन्भर्सेसनलाई अलिकति समराइज गर्न चाहन्छु बिकज द्याट वाज अ भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट पार्ट अफ दिस भिडियो आई एम रियली सरी फर दिस टेक्निकल ग्लिच एन्ड होपफुली दिस विल नट ह्यापन अगेन इन लेटर भिडियोज बट लास्टमा चाहिँ के भएको थियो भन्दा I basically asked them some questions that you guys had asked होइन so what I understood about this university is if तपाईँको एकदमै अलिकति फाइनेन्सियली पनि यिनीहरूले स्कलरसिप राम्रो दिनुहुँदो रहेछ along with that होइन तपाईँलाई घर जस्तै फिल हुन्छ बिकज यु आर लिभिङ अन क्याम्पस एन्ड इट्स अ क्लोज्ड कम्युनिटी होइन त्यहाँको कम्युनिटी मेम्बर्स आर अल्सो भेरी हेल्पफुल त्यहाँ एकदमै धेरै नेपालीहरू भएको कारणले यु रियली गेट द्याट होमली फिल अब एकदमै ब्याचलर्समा गइरहेको स्टुडेन्टहरू फर्स्ट टाइम घर छोडेर जाँदाखेरि अलिकति ओभरवेल्मिङ हुनसक्छ होइन बट एट दिस युनिभर्सिटी यु हेभ पिपल टु सपोर्ट यु यु हेभ टिचर्स प्रोफेसर्स हु आर गोइङ टु सपोर्ट यु इभन डाइनिङ हलमा पनि नेपाली खानासम्म पाउँछ होइन सधैँ दाल भात पनि पाक्ने रहेछ होइन त्यहाँको डाइनिङ हलमा विच इज असम यु डोन्ट गेट दिज थिङ्स इन युएसए you don't have to think about housing in this university you don't have to think about how to lead my life here कसरी के गर्ने भन्ने you will get your on campus job you'll get a place to stay good food to eat and all you have to do is focus on your studies because that is what's going to help you to get future jobs better jobs and they have a very good career fair they have good career services where they will help you draft your resume apply to different jobs and all of those things so this is a great place to be if you are considering it so that was mainly the crux of this entire conversation I'm really sorry for the technical glitch but I hope पछि यस्तो हुँदैन and I hope we can talk more with the representatives of University of Lynchburg in future with all of that said this was today's podcast I hope you enjoyed if you have any questions please leave them in the comment section if I have forgotten to add anything or kehi pani cha bhane I'll answer to those questions in the comment section so I'll see you again in the next video till then take care and bye bye